What's up, volleyball fans? I'm Darren Tipton, and welcome to the VB Adrenaline Podcast. Our podcast, we will dive deep into the heart of the game, bringing you the hottest topics, prospects, and a buzz surrounding prep and college volleyball, especially the world of recruiting. In each episode, our crew will spotlight rising stars who are shaking up the national game. Plus, we will serve you the scoop on current events that have coaches and fans talking courtside. Tune in for the episodes that spotlight tomorrow's college stars, new trends in the sport, plus interviews that will keep you informed on the explosion that is volleyball in the USA. You can connect with us on social media, Instagram at vbadrenaline.com_ and Twitter at vbadrenaline. Be part of the conversation. Share your thoughts on your favorite players, prospects, and predictions by using hashtag VBAdrenaline. So grab a seat, volleyball fans, and get ready to dive into the world of spikes, sets, and serves with the VB Adrenaline Podcast. See you there. All right, good morning. Welcome back. Another episode of the VB Adrenaline Podcast. And again, Darren Tipton. And I think we're covering all of those topics here this morning as far as current events, college, recruiting, prep, everything with trends with Coach Matt Ulmer and head coach at the University of Kansas. And Coach, thank you for literally making a little bit of time for me this morning, and welcome.
No, thanks for having me, Darren. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's talk about a crazy, not even full week for you.
Crazy week. Yeah, just in every way. Emotionally, ups and downs, and but just a lot of movement. I've been to Kansas now. I'm back here. I just got back in last night. 3 times, I think, in 10 days or something like that. So going back and forth right now, but trying to transition our life from Oregon to Kansas.
Yeah, and so how about first of all the process with like the interview process? How long was that process from kind of the talking, the interview? How long did that process kind of go on?
From my end or from Kansas's end?
Yeah, well, just like talks. I always wonder that, like how this one maybe was a little bit longer, stretched out, but how long does a coaching search kind of go on?
Yeah, I don't really know. It's typical, but at least in this case, AD Travis Goff and his committee, they started reaching out. I think once Ray had retired and the season had ended, they started reaching out to just a bunch of the coaches around the country and trying to figure out who they should be talking to. I think they really did their homework and asked a lot of questions and tried to figure out where the state of volleyball is, where it's going, and what they need to invest and what they need to be thinking and looking for. And I think Travis felt like my name kept coming up, and so wanted to talk to me. And I think to talk to him, maybe 2 weeks ago was our first talk.
Yeah,
I think, and then I was actually in Scottsdale, Arizona, with a buddy's bachelor party. It was a golf weekend, and I got called on that first night saying, "Will you come to campus?" And I was, I had only golf apparel or swimsuit. That's all I had. So I had to go. I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I have to go shop, and it's not easy for me to find shoes and pants that fit me, off the rack. But I did it, and tried to find it in blue the best I could, and came to campus. And within that time, then an offer came, and sat down with my wife, and we really just tried to go through everything of, if this was the move we wanted to make and what we wanted to do with our family, and if this is where my career was going. So, and then called back that night and said, we're in, and then here it went.
Yeah. Everybody, thinks for them, talk about the differences. First of all, quite a few with, not only the color scheme, you're going Nike to Adidas, you're going Big 10 to Big 12, but you're going West Coast to the Heartland. Quite a few moves for you, but what were some of the things maybe that made KU
so attractive, or what were maybe one or two of the biggest things that made the decision right for you and your family?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of those types of things that not even in my consideration, like
Oh yeah,
all the things from the outside. But my wife and I, we grew up in Midwest towns, not too far from here, short flight or an 8-hour drive, Chicago area, and that's where the grandparents are. That's where a bunch of our family is. That's where a bunch of our friends that we grew up are. And when I first took the job at Oregon from Long Beach State, I was going as the assistant coach. And so I thought, I don't know, there's maybe 2 or 3 years there, and then maybe I'd get my head opportunity and something like that. And just the way that things worked out, we were at Oregon for a lot longer than we anticipated. And it was great, amazing memories and so much growth for me personally and my family. We went there with 1 kid, left with 4, so just a lot of life changes in that time. But it was not necessarily where we thought we would, where we'd live our life and raise our kids. So I think as this opportunity came up, it was like, okay, this is maybe our chance where we can go back closer to home, kind of have that upbringing that we had as kids, and what we would like for our family, and then on top of that, Travis Goff, the AD here, wants to invest in volleyball. He cares about our sport. He has vision of what it can be. The Kansas community, the Lawrence in particular, they love volleyball. They're supporting it. It's just a really exciting opportunity from a professional side. So I think it really checked like every major box that I had and that my family had. So, and then when I got to campus, fell in love. You're up on top of it. I was not expecting it. I'd never been here before. I was just thinking Midwest flat, and then all of a sudden you're up on this hilltop, and you're like, this is gorgeous. And the volleyball facility at Horsch is awesome to have. Never had one of those before, so I'm excited for that. And then the community, all the football coaches, basketball coaches, every coach reaching out, just welcoming and just being present, and all those things, really show how much volleyball matters in the community, and that was important for me.
Yeah, and I think that's something that like fan bases might not know is whether volleyball is truly supported at universities, right? Like it's there, but how much it's invested in, right? At different universities. It's there, and yeah, we'll talk about all the attendances and everybody's setting records, but is it truly there? And I guess I haven't followed, previous stop that closely or not. And you did great. But what I mean is, like you just hit on, the schools that are truly investing and doing all the little things to take all those little steps to make it a marquee sport. And a lot of programs are not doing that. And it's what's making those 15% of jobs extra special. Right?
Yeah, agree. I think there's a lot of different ways to support the program. Like you're mentioning, and I think Kansas really supports the program in every way possible, and that's what they want to do moving forward. So again, just really excited for me to be able to have an administration that wants to grow with our staff, grow with our team, and that was something I was really looking for. That when we get, we're going to get this thing going, and when we do, like just keep going with us. I wanted a partnership, and I think that's what we got here at Kansas.
Well, and I think you touched on the volleyball community, and that's how we got our start a couple years ago. We were looking at that intro video, and there was a picture of 3. They're not little anymore. They're graduating, but we took a picture of 3.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, exactly. There you go.
Right, and you're like, that's like a little. Well, maybe an hour, but that's your backyard, right? Yeah. And they love volleyball there, and for us, that was a week. That was a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday interview for us, and that was our first 3 national interviews, and I'm like, yeah, Kansas City's got it going on, right? Like the passion there and the club level there, and well, I mean, it's a great sports community, and volleyball is so passionate that they will get behind you, and just for KU sports in general.
Yeah, I can't wait to get in the club gyms. Locally, I mean, like you said, within an hour, there's a lot of impactful student athletes, that potentially, for Kansas and for any other team. But I'm excited about that opportunity. A big part, for us is that we're centrally located. So from a recruiting standpoint, what a gift that is. At least traveling, you can do nonstop from Kansas City to everywhere. That's huge. And then in the conference, we can do a charter flight to any place we go and get home that night. So there's just a lot of things with a young family and with my wife. I just really want to be a great dad, great husband, and great at my job. And I feel like Kansas gives me the opportunity to do all three. Well,
and it's not nonstop, but it's not a bad drive to Sioux Falls, so we can get you in that Kairos gym. I told you, I messaged you that. It's one of my favorite drives, that NIT every year. So I tell people, I'm like, I love driving to Kansas City. So we can get you to South Dakota. So we'll get that stop on your radar. But I have
a feeling I'll be in Sioux Falls sooner rather than later this year. Yeah.
Hey, dinner's on me. I think I could do that.
I'm holding to that.
I can. That's awesome. I love to hear that. But they have talk about so what happens now, right? You told me you're like unpacking. So you're back and forth with moving the family, getting them situated, but how the anatomy of a program now that we're kind of working on putting an article together, but I didn't want to rush it of, hey, when one man or woman signs a contract, how that affects so many people, right? So we're actually working on a major article of how that affects so many different people. Yeah. Talk about that with you now and what happens with the whole construction of KU volleyball going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't make this decision lightly because we knew how many people it would impact. And I think that's a big reason why we stayed for so long. There's been other opportunities out there, that were aggressive and all the things, maybe even beyond. But it wasn't, it wasn't the right time or the right fit. So this was truly just kind of a home run for us. And when that happened, it's, you want to meet with the team. You want to let them know first from your mouth, the Oregon team. So I talked with them, that morning, and just tried to handle all their emotions the best I could. And, obviously there were tears on both sides, and it's a big change. And, just trying to help mentor them as we've done for the past 11 years, through this time. And I was thankful for them of all the love that they showed, and as they were trying to work through their lives and what's next for them. And then I had a Zoom with the Kansas team, and I was excited how excited they were. So that made me feel really good. Just trying to do individual Zooms with them to get to know them better. And then let's see. And then from there, you're trying to figure out your staff. That's the big one. You're trying to talk to all the future recruits, from Kansas, and trying to get to know them a little bit and talk to their parents and make sure everybody understands that it's okay, and answer any questions that they have, because again, their trust and their decision-making wasn't with me or my staff. So, just trying to handle, what they're feeling. And then, I've been trying to recruit for this semester. So because they're a semester school, I have a chance to bring in maybe a couple student athletes right now. And so trying to see if we can elevate our gym at Kansas quickly. And then recruiting, for 25, 26, just trying to keep the roster moving in a positive direction. And then there's also a lot of change with the house settlement and what that could do for rosters and scholarships and everything like that. So it's just an interesting time, to be doing this. But like you said, a lot of moving parts. But those are my priorities, was trying to get our staff together, recruits, talking to the former team, talking to the new team, talking to recruits on both sides, just trying to get everybody's life as settled as possible here in a short amount of time.
Right. And so with the, like, more so the staff, is that, I mean, that's got to be more important to, I mean, is it something where you just put it together for, I'm trying to think how I want to say this. Is it you just try and get through the spring, or meaning you want to get it right long term? Are you just trying to get through the spring, or do you put something together and then figure out next fall, or do you put it together piece by piece? Or
So I think, again, you're trying to do what's best for the program. And so within that might be some pieces from Kansas State, that might be some pieces from Oregon Come With Me. Again, we were doing a pretty good job there, and I think our staff was a huge part of that. And then also, is there somebody outside of those two groups, that can make a real positive impact and, continue to lead us? Again, in my opinion, this job is a big time job, and it's an opportunity for us to compete for championships. And so I want to put together a staff that, covers the whole thing if we can. So again, you might have hard conversations, which is part of it, but I think in general, you just always want to be honest with people. Throughout the whole process, I was upfront and honest with everybody involved, as much as I could possibly be. And that's what I was trying to do with the staff. And again, you're just trying to put together the best staff possible that's going to cater to our student athletes and give them their best experience. And I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah. What difference is everything national recruiting now? And I know the easy answer is yes, but is there a difference recruiting? I asked you this last year if there was a difference recruiting Pac-12 to the new change in the Big Ten.
Right.
But now, do you change how you recruited last year to now being in the Big 12, or are you simply recruiting for a national title?
I think it probably depends where you're at. At Oregon, we needed to really recruit nationally. Again, our region, while it gave us a handful of really nice student athletes, not enough to be able to compete at the level that we wanted. So you really had to get out of the SEVA region and go, find as many right fits as possible. Obviously in this region, there's a lot more opportunity locally, to make an impact on our roster at Kansas. So, I would love to be able to keep everybody who wants to be home, but then also continually trying to find the right fits. And again, I think because we're centrally located, everybody can get here pretty easy. And, I think that means that coast to coast, we can be able to attract the top talent.
Yeah. So then your immediate, like, what is goal? So goal number one, is it staff? Is it recruits? Is it 1 and 1A?
So I don't think my phone has been down yet. So since I got the job, so it's everything, right? I'm trying to do it all as quickly as I can. I'd rather not ease into this. I'd rather hit the ground running and see what we can do as quickly as possible. Those are my expectations, not anybody else's. But that's kind of how I've always been. So that's what I'm trying to do. So again, just trying to blend the roster, trying to blend the staff, scheduling. I mean, all the things, and trying to get it going right now. And right now, I'm not quite a one-man band, but close. So I'm just, I'm using all the daylight that I can get to make it happen. So, and then that's not even including the family side, right? And the move and packing the house and all the things. So, got a lot going on, but trying to do it all and trying to do it as quickly as possible so that I can be present here for the Kansas team when we start practice on the 4th.
Oh man, that's awesome. And I have like 500 more questions for you, but out of respect for you even just taking my text, I'm going to wrap it up and let you get to those phone calls. I am so pumped to see where this goes and know you're going to crush it. I told you before we recruited, right away, I scratched my head, and after about an hour, I just started getting excited because I started thinking this through, and I'm like, this is big time. And I know the passion for Jayhawk Athletics, and I love this. So I'm excited for you, man, and I'm pumped to see what happens. And thank you for taking this time. And have you been on the road yet, or will you start, or wait till Triple Crown, or when?
So hopefully I'll be here for good February 2nd. And then once that happens and I actually have a car, in the area, then I'm excited to get out and get in some gyms and go see some student athletes with some blue on.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I did this. This was my one VB Adrenaline thing for a while. It's fine. You just use that one sweatshirt and they can get you some gear. So we will, Matt, we will let you go. And as busy as you are to take this and do this on such short notice, thank you. And everybody out there, if this doesn't show you a little bit about Coach taking this time, this is who he is, and he's always been one of the classier guys to me. And excited to see what you do, and we will see you down the road. And rock chalk, I guess.
Rock chalk. That's it. Thanks for the time, Darren. Appreciate you.
Yeah, bud. We'll see you down the road. Take care. Everybody, Matt Ulmer, head coach, Kansas University volleyball, and we'll let him go. And we're going to go on a little bit more about Coach, because it kind of leads into what we have as I wrap up put out an announcement and started a new Instagram page and put a tease out for a thing called our Players Network, and had a lot of questions in the last 2 days. And we appreciate those. What the heck's the Players Network? And we'll give more and more information coming out, but something I've been really excited about for really about a year and a half now. I've been researching, planning, getting word out. And this is for athletes and for college and high school. And it's really going to be a way for athletes to mentor each other. And I don't want to say too terribly much yet, but it will be a way for us, as we, our best relationships are with athletes, and we talk with them and we get to know them, and we interview them. And our mission was always to help educate athletes and their families on the recruiting process and the ins and outs of it, and get them better ready to succeed at the college level. And we've done some of that, and we still fail at that as it changes, but we're trying to get better at that. And then we get to talk with a lot of athletes as they go into college, and as that changes, right? And how their experiences are. And now that's changing daily, and with the house vote, and as you hear coaches talk about now. And it's their experience, right? We don't have a game without the athletes. And so it's going to be something where hopefully they help educate, right, the ones to come after them. And so it's going to be a network where they can just kind of share experience, mentor each other, and a place where they can go and talk and help and teach and grow together. And so it's something we're creating for our players to be better prepared to tackle this growing industry of college volleyball, right? And do it in a player-led way, and keep us adults kind of out of it, and let them do it. They do a lot better job, I think, than we do, and let the athletes do it. So it's the Players Network, and it's coming, and we're developing it, and we're getting a lot of input from athletes on it. And so, yeah, we're excited about it, and something we can add, and it'll be ever changing. So we're excited to get that rolling. It will start small and hopefully grow, and we will see what it becomes, but something we're excited about in our mission. And so look for more on that. The other thing that we are excited and will be coming for more of our college fans that do dive more into the recruiting. And it was always one of my goals as a college sports fan. I think I told you I grew up on the college pages as a college football fan and somebody who just liked recruiting. We will little by little here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, hopefully by February, we start launching the first of our college select team pages. And what those will be is, as we're able to find beat writers for but for colleges that we get a page sponsor and a specified beat writer that only covers that team, we will have a select beat writer that only covers that team. So right now we have general news for teams that our general staff writes about. So when we cover a recruit or something that is going to Xavier, okay, well then we tag Xavier and it goes on a general page. It's all very general national news. Well, now we would have a writer that only covers Xavier volleyball, and we have a page sponsor for it, and it's constant Xavier volleyball coverage. Okay, still comes with the same subscription. So you get the subscription to the site, but you also, hopefully that brings in more Xavier volleyball fans, and they have something just to follow their site. So any team that we find the page sponsor for and we have a beat writer for will have exclusive coverage for some of those bigger programs that we can find that. We'll hopefully start adding those one by one and get more exclusive coverage for some of those programs that want that. And so hopefully that brings in more college fan interest, and there's more exclusive content for some of those programs. And then our prep fans that are coming more for the recruiting or the prep content can follow some of the college programs as well. And so it kind of blends both fan bases, I guess, is kind of our intent. And so we're excited for that and to grow in that way, since we had a lot more of a college following this year than we anticipated. And that was always our hope. We're not going to be adding chat boards because we don't like those, and until we can figure out a way to do that where you have to actually claim your profile and have a face recognition with your actual name, we're not going to have chat boards. So it won't be those, but it will be where you can follow your team and subscribe and get some insider information on your favorite team, or just get insider information on the college program. So hopefully we have those team pages coming, which makes our memberships even more, our subscriptions even more valuable. Coaches, be more like Coach Ulmer here. Okay. And prospects, again, if you're doing your homework, research that. Okay. Don't say you want to go play for a good person with good culture and then do just the opposite. Do your research. There are people doing it right. Okay. There are people doing it right. All right. So next week we dive back into talking about what the athletes are doing, where the action is on the court. You can go and you can read our updated PPVs if you like. Those are always free on the website by clicking on the class. We've done some big upgrades. I think things are looking really good. You can also see our updated class rankings on there. Players who have submitted new player profiles, we appreciate it. The 2028s are blowing up. I think we've had about 40 new player profiles, faster than my fingers can type the last 2 weeks. So thank you. We will get you guys caught up here very soon. So 28s keep going, 27s, a lot of you we'd like to know about, and 26s. Just because most of you have committed doesn't mean we're forgetting about you. I will get on the road best I can. I'm hoping to get to Texas next week. And of course, we have the Triple Crown coming up in a couple weeks. So athletes, you keep doing what you do. Look for more info coming out on our Players Network launching soon. And those team sites will keep dropping the first couple here. Hopefully our first trial ones in about a week. And then that first or second week, we're launching the first live sites first, second week in February. So look for those exciting things for those of you that want to support us and want to follow us. We appreciate it. Keep being passionate about your favorite teams and your favorite athletes. So until next time, Darren Tipton and the VB Adrenaline podcast signing off. Take care, everybody.